Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from NIGHTCARVER Designs, and today on the show I have some fellow podcasters. I have Bryan from Dogwood Custom Bills and Tyler from Westfall Woodwork, and we're going to be hanging out and chilling. A lot of fun conversation. Tyler kind of, hosted it for me, which was wonderful. It's kind of nice to chill in the back seat for a little while and answer some questions casually. So I hope you enjoy it, and a huge thank you to everybody who is supporting me on Patreon. If you want to support the show, it is patreon.com/makerconversations. A huge thank you to Sabertooth Power Carving for sponsoring this show. I appreciate them. They're an amazing team to work with, and we're going to be hanging out representing them very soon at the Makers Camp. So hopefully I see you then, and now enjoy the show.
Well, thank you for joining. It's super informal. It's just literally a conversation, and you don't have any responsibilities with like downloading things or sending it on over. Yeah.
Nice. I do good with no responsibility personally.
It's the best way, right?
I thrive in no responsibility.
We have enough to worry about in our lives. So what's going on? How are you guys?
Good.
Busy.
Yeah.
Good.
What's keeping you busy?
So right now, getting the Etsy store back up and running is kind of my big push. So I shipped out a couple American flags this week and a cigar ashtray, and now I just got another cutting board order, which doesn't sound like much, but in my limited shop time, that's been keeping me pretty busy, as well as getting my dust collector up on the wall, 100% ready to.
Is it on there?
Tuck away. Yeah. What are you laughing at, Ty?
Hella suction, dude.
Yeah, it really sucks. But yeah, so that's been my couple days here.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I was listening to your guys' podcast earlier, so was very relevant because you were just talking about the dust collection on it. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
And thanks for shouting out the podcast too. I was like, oh, that was a pleasant surprise.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're pumped to be here. I'm pumped to be here. I can't speak for Doggy, but podcasting is fun, and it's even more fun when it's not yours that you have to be responsible for. So, we can kind of do whatever we want to do.
Let's make this really hard to edit.
Drop a lot of F-bombs.
Oh, I leave them in. Mine's explicit.
Oh, great.
I don't worry about that stuff. I'm just way too loose with my mouth to have to edit that stuff out. Yeah, it'd be bad.
That's great.
Yes.
But I have been doing a whole lot of not exciting stuff. I've been doing a ton of woodworking, which is very exciting actually. But most of my schedule has been dominated with things that stress me out more than anything, to be completely honest with you. But we're getting through it. It's nice to have breaks like this to chat with some friends and do things we got to do. And I kind of want to pass it back to you, Tiff, because I see it in the background of the Zoom. I'm not sure if you post the video, but those little tiki dudes you got back there. Oh, I love those.
I just finished Shredder. He's the one with the red on the bottom.
That's so cool.
Yeah. They're coming along.
Yeah, you kill the game with, because do you hand carve those, right? That's not CNC, right?
That's all hand carved. I do have I drew them on my computer too, so I can try and put it on the laser and the CNC. So I figured I'd play with that too. Just like if I want to make minis or something, I can just laser off a little mini guy instead of having to, because people, they're expensive, rightly so.
Right.
So
yeah,
if
definitely.
I can sell some small ones, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, those are, super sick. So is that something that you just make for fun to stock, or do you have like custom orders for those, or?
So the nice part about being full-time and having like side gigs that pay the bills is that I get to do some stuff that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. So that's like a passion project. Like I bought those curved boards. It's the inside of a like electrical wire wheel. So they have like a nice little curve on it, like a tiki wood.
Yeah.
I bought them like 4 years ago to carve. I knew I wanted to make tiki men out of them. And then my husband's obsessed with Ninja Turtles. I love them too, but he's on that obsessed area. So I was like, how fun would it be if I did the Ninja Turtles? And we have 10 of them. So I'm just going to get like all the classics, like Bebop and Rocksteady will be coming soon. So a lot of fun ones.
That's freaking awesome. And then Doggy, I'm sure you've seen them by now, but if you haven't, these things, and I'm
looking at them.
I know you've told me
Or you, I
before.
say I could go pick one up if you want.
I'm like squinting at the computer. Like I get closer to my screen, it's gonna look bigger. I'm looking at them on her story though. She hand carves those.
Yeah, well, she like uses a Dremel with she's got you partner with a company who makes a special type of carving bit, right?
What's that? The birds?
You partner with a company who makes those suckers, and
Yep.
you go crazy with like with a Dremel, right?
I have it's a works tool, rotary tool.
Oh yeah,
But it's
gotcha.
essentially the same thing, yeah. But yeah, this guy I just finished earlier today.
And then you hand paint them, or
yeah, it's all hand painted.
Oh my gosh, my
You're a
head hurts
freak.
just thinking about that.
The hardest part, honestly, is like getting the design nailed down because it's a very thin board and you have to fit everything.
yeah.
So I'm like, how am I gonna fit his cape in there? How am I gonna get all these little pointy things? You know, like there's a lot of little things that had to fit in there. So
I mean,
That's
literally
impressive.
blow my mind with stuff. Not to be like cheesy, I know we're on your show and stuff, but like genuinely serious. Before you even
man.
invited me on here, you have always blown my mind with the designs you come up with and stuff because I know you have a CNC and a laser, but the fact that you still are able to hand carve that stuff
Yeah.
is just mind blowing to me.
it's like that's where the passion is. The tools are because I want to be able to make something over and over again, and
Right.
you know what I mean, and just have like the capability to do that. But like, yeah, I enjoy doing hand carving. It's how I started with like the routers, so it gives me a nice like I get to go back to it now, but like leisurely, like where I don't have to rely on it to pump out material. That's the nice part. Like that's like, I'm gonna go on the deck for 4 hours today and just carve.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, not gonna lie.
I think if I had to do that, I would scream. I'd be like, I have to go to the deck for 4 hours. Like it would be a total different like attitude. It's those little like detail things that
drive you nuts.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Well, it's not even for me, honestly, like if someone came to me and was like, hey, I will pay you a infinite amount of money for you to hand carve these tiki men that look like Ninja Turtles, I would be like, I can't. Like I just simply cannot. I don't have the patience like Doggy was talking about.
Yeah.
But I just simply don't think I would have the skill to pull off something that gorgeous, you know. I keep stroking your ego, Tiff.
I was like, thank you. Thank you. It's my first time carving anything like that too. You just gotta go for it though. Like
yeah.
The nice part is like, no, I'm very fortunate to where, you know, I now work for Sabretooth. So they just sent me, I go, give me all your 1/8 inch spurs like that you want for demos. And they just sent me a giant box full. So I got like $700 worth of product because they trust and support me. So that's why you're going to be seeing videos every month with those for a month, because they gave me that to do that. Like, so that way people can see actually what they do. Yeah.
That's dope. Catch me up to speed, Tiff. I know this is your show and your audience has probably heard it a million times, but I know
right?
that
We're gonna bore the hell out of them. That's okay.
No, but catch me up because I know you've changed your direction, I guess. Yeah, exactly. So let's hear about it if you don't mind sharing.
No, that's fine. So just because I mean, Bryan, you don't know my whole story. So I've worked in marketing for 16, well, actually like 18 years now, 20, actually I'm 20, I'm getting old, about 20 years, but at one job for 16 years straight. And it was just making me miserable. It became like a data entry job at the end. It started off as me being a designer. And then like we kept automating, blah, blah, blah. It's very boring. People have been hearing me talk about it for 3 years. But at the same time, like I had this passion to, you know, do this full time. So really this last year, I had really pushed hard. I found some gaps and I kind of found my way into 2 very cool jobs. So I work for Sabretooth Power Carving and I'm doing their social media and I'm doing videos for them and a podcast. And they also sponsor this podcast because they're amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. This company is really taking care of me. And then I work for Workbench Con and Haven conference. So I do all their social media and I'm helping plan. Yes, that's who's been you've been talking to.
Workbench Con. That's
me.
what I'm talking about.
So I'm helping plan next year's Workbench Con right now. So that's kind of like those are the 2 things that pay the bills. And then I actually get paid to carve now, which is great. So I get to make things for myself and I get to experiment and learn how to use these tools. And then I'm also doing like touring for Sabretooth whenever they need us. So we're going to Makers Camp in the Catskills in New York, where I'll be doing some power carving there with Sadie from the Awesome Orange.
You know,
Yeah.
Hey, Sadie, she's local to me, I believe. She's in
She's
Phoenix.
in Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never met her, unfortunately. I know she's been at a handful of our meetups, but the past couple I've been non-existent at, unfortunately. But I think that was it the Catskill Maker Mountain Camp?
Yeah, Catskill Maker Camp.
I was hoping to go to that, but unfortunately, I think it might be out of the cards this year, unfortunately. But jury's still out, might still pull it off. And now that I know that you're going, that kind of gives me a good.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'll have to look into it.
Is that like October 6th or so?
What's the 7th? You're so close. 7th? Yeah, the 7th. Yeah.
I think you're so close. You're doing so well.
You're doing so good. So good.
I've been practicing remembering things for such a long time. Because we had talked about it with Zach Hess, who does a lot of epoxy. I don't know if I can go because I have work trips that kind of pop up last minute. So
it's a busy time of year. Like we were just talking about this earlier, like September and October are just crazy. The weather cools down and everybo's like, let's get everything done. Let's do it.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, that's huge in Phoenix, obviously, because the summer we're dying. And then as soon as it cools down, it's gung ho. But I mean, I had a couple of vacations pop up. My family decided to do a big like Disneyland trip, which we haven't done in a very, very long time. So that kind of unfortunately takes priority over just going out for a weekend and having some fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be a very good time and meeting so many makers, but family comes first, to be completely. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Good for you. I'm very excited for you. I know that. Thanks. I think the last time we talked on the last podcast, you were still at the day job, grinding away.
Yeah, it's only been 2 months. It's that fresh. That's how long ago I quit.
Been going good though, I imagine.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like my stress just went. Like I still have like the anxiety of like, I got to show up. I got to perform because I got myself into these jobs. Like they weren't hiring. Both people weren't hiring. I kind of just got myself into these.
Your way in.
I did. I just, hi. Hi,
That's
I'm
awesome.
Tiffany. Can I help you? Like.
That's pretty dope though. Creating your own opportunities,
Yeah. Well, like I could just see where they needed the help and I knew I could help them with all my, marketing experience. So I'm like, let me get in here and actually try to do something that I want to do.
Right.
That relates to like what I love,
Yeah. And I could definitely see where the stress would be created trying to, create value for your position that you kind of gave to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They weren't looking to hire for these positions. So like, I want to make sure they're like, wow, how was I doing this before I had her,
It's funny you mentioned that verbiage in particular, because a couple episodes back on our podcast, Doggy was kind of talking about how his position was recently created. Doggy, is that fair to say?
Yeah, they just stood up my office for the Navy.
Nice.
The big building that I work in does all of the manpower planning for like the ships and the subs and the air crews. And they just started branching it to like the schoolhouses and the commands that don't go to sea that are at home. So we're still figuring stuff out, and I'm like bored out of my mind. Absolutely bored out of my mind.
It's like that calm before the storm, right?
Yeah.
Getting all set up.
Well, the benefit with Tiffany is that she's got to like, or I guess I don't know if it's the benefit, but Tiffany, you're kind of like forced to, make yourself valuable, whereas Doggy is like there and he gets paid regardless. But it just related in my brain that the two similar to a degree positions, Well,
yeah, experiencing something brand new and not having like this set schedule yet. Like I'm still in that limbo where I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing each day. Like what should I concentrate on?
And you got kids too, and a husband.
Yes.
Doggy and I don't have those yet.
No husbands yet.
No, we're fresh out of husbands at the moment, unfortunately.
Right I got a kid right there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Dude, pets can be like kids though. They can get needy.
If pets were kids, the child services would be here. I say some not so nice things to this dog.
Oh, that's great.
I love him though. He knows that. I just want to make that known to your listeners that I don't beat my dog. I just yell at him sometimes.
I don't think anyone thinks that you beat your dog.
Well, now we're thinking about it now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what somebody would say if they were beating their dog.
Thank goodness he gave us a glimpse of the dog and the conditions and what it lives in. So I think we're good to go here. Looked pretty
Still alive
content and
kicking.
happy. Yeah.
Oh, doggy.
Plus, with the name Dogwood, I'd expect that he likes dogs, especially if it's in his logo.
This is actually my logo. The dog, I cropped him out and then cropped the words out for my shirt because I didn't want to do the weeding on the cricket for all the trees and stuff.
I don't blame you one bit for that.
Yeah, I
That
was gonna
stuff
say.
sucks.
I think I printed it or cut it out. And I was like, no, I just crumbled it up and threw it out, re-cut it. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
You just got to order those prints that you can iron on or something for yourself or get a little heat press.
Yeah.
Did you iron that on, doggy?
Yeah, this is with the cricket iron on vinyl.
Nice.
Yeah. But that was the name. That was the reason for Dogwood. I like dogs and I was working with wood. So I just like Dogwood. And
Absolute
I knew
no correlation to the dogwood species of wood.
Nope. I knew it was a species, but I have never used it to this day. I'm going to look up because I think it's really expensive.
Yeah, I have no idea. But that is funny. Yeah.
But
it's hard to name things.
Yeah, I kind of cheaped out because I had, so with Homegrown Creations, my previous persona, I guess, if you will, that was like a brainchild of me and two other people. So when it came time when we parted ways with them and I kind of started doing my own thing, I was like, well, I had the quote rights to the name, but there was kind of like some hard feelings tied to the name Homegrown Creations. So I kind of want to start something new. And then I did a total cop out, Westfall Wood Co. I mean, how much more basic can you get? My name is Westfall and I work with wood and we're a company.
So that's something that I like. I love my name now. I love Dogwood. I don't love the custom builds part.
Get rid of it.
And I could, I could.
Get
but then
rid
I
of
would have
it.
to get a new branding iron. And you're talking about a lot.
You got to
of
pull
stuff
down
I
that
don't wanna do.
sign. You got to take off that shirt.
I'm just gonna fill that in with tan epoxy. But I do like that you have your name in it, like you incorporate your name.
That was the big thing, and that's kind of like when I sat down to think of names, the biggest, I guess, little pinpoint that I wanted to make sure I incorporated was my name. So
the biggest pinpoint is what you want. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so was it a big
much.
thing or was it a pinpoint? Which one was it? It's a definite it's a definite possibility that we wanted a big pinpoint.
Listen, so I wanted something that would kind of be bigger than my name. So like now my dad wears the hats that say Westfall Wood Co, and it's applicable, and he wears the shirts and I wear the shirts, my family wears the shirts. So it's cool. It's cool that it applies to everybody, at least everyone in my family. Yeah.
I was Marshan Woodwork when we first met.
Yeah. Well, and then now you kind of did something that's
more me.
More you and more that you wanted to move forward with,
Exactly.
So it's just different situations, I guess.
I rebranded because I was like, I couldn't make art for other people anymore. I wanted to make stuff that I wanted to make. That was like the big purpose. Yeah.
What was it? It was Marchand Custom Woodworks?
It might have been Custom Woodworks actually when I first started. Look at you. And then I changed it to Marshan Woodwork. And then Night Carver Design. Originally, it was Boutot Design many, many years ago.
Oh gosh,
Dogwood Designs. I made this logo on PowerPoint.
Dude, whatever works.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
Not gonna lie, I kind of Doggy. This is a bad time to bring it up, and I like Dogwood Designs better than Dogwood.
I could do Dogwood Designs.
Yeah,
I like my new logo, but I think the lady in England that lives in her van and does artwork did a better job than me on PowerPoint. But
no, that looks cool. I like your logo. But yeah, you could easily, if you want to keep that sign, just cut something out in a laser very thin and just put it right over it.
Perfect. Problem solved. There you go, doggy.
You can always tweak things, man.
Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
Tiff, we kind of you asked us what we're doing, but what are you doing? What do you got going on other than those little tiki men?
We're going to be reviewing the speaker submissions for Workbench Con next week. So I'm actually really excited about that. It's my first time and there's 47 submissions to go through. So
wow.
Yeah, it might be a few meetings next week to just like get through all of them, but I'm excited to see what everybody submitted, honestly. So that's super exciting. And then prepping for Makers Camp. So I'm going to be playing around with maybe the laser and the CNC and making some custom burr holders. So I can have all the stuff they sent us displayed really nicely so people can like enjoy the process of picking out a burr rather than just
Heck
having
yeah.
them in a pile.
Just a lump on the table.
I'm like, I told Sadie, I was like, we need to figure out a way where they're not just like rolling everywhere, like these big, sharp, pointy things rolling at people. So
Might be a little bit of a liability.
yeah. So I'm kind of like in prep phase. I've got like all the tools ready and things like that. So, and then I finally used this today and ran a file on it just to get it to go. Cause I've had my laser here since April 2nd and I haven't used it yet.
What? Really?
Because I've been
Jeez.
transitioning into this new lifestyle and I've been like so overwhelmed because my kids have been home all summer. I quit my job the day after school was let out. So I had 2 months of the kids being home. It wasn't the smoothest transition, but now like they're back in school. This is day 2 and I'm excited to have the time and actually get in there with it. So
That's funny. My initial reaction was like, you haven't used it since they got it in April. And I was like,
yeah,
kids at home, just quit her job. She has plenty of other things to worry about.
exactly.
Also, the guy that bought a laser and it sat on his workbench for like 4 months because he didn't know how to use it.
Well, I have no clue how to, well, I did use it today. I mean, I did figure it out, but like,
good for you.
I have zero clue of how to use it. I've never used Lightburn. So it's like, there's so many things to learn with it, but I'm pretty good at programs. So I don't see a big problem with learning it.
Yeah, you have a big leg up because you've been running the CNC for a while, but I saw your stories today or yesterday. It might've been, days just blur together to me, but you posted something specifically like, hey, if anyone knows Lightburn and wants to come hang out.
Oh yeah, exactly. DM me. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's so like, it's a great idea to do that first off. And I hope you got some responses, but that's exactly what happened to me. When I first got my CNC, I was like, hey, I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. Does someone want to come help me out? And freaking John Grubb, shameless plug to him. He came over for like 6 hours, helped me set up my wasteboard, helped me figure out how to use VCarve. It's like, that's just what's so freaking cool about the maker community is that people are willing to give you their time. You know, you don't have to go sit on YouTube for forever and ever, although that is a good idea. But
no, it absolutely is. Yeah.
There's nothing more valuable than him coming over to my house and being like, this is why this happens. This is how you input this and so on and so forth. And now I freaking run the CNC without even thinking twice, you know?
Yeah. Sam from Uncharted Customs, him and I had a video call for like an hour and a half, I think. And he just went through because he had the Onefinity for almost a year, I think, when I got mine. And he just like walked me through, gave me heads up on things that might happen, you know, and like, that right there was like huge. It got me up and running, you know?
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, you have such a lengthier leg up than someone who just gets the machine and tries to watch things on YouTube, you know?
Yes.
Because like, I mean, I can't even think about like, there's one specific thing. Do you use VCarve, Tiff?
I don't know. I have easel. Yeah.
Well, I can explain it to you in a way that anyone could appreciate. So there's this very, very, very minor function that no one ever probably thinks about within VCarve, and it's when you pick a design and you're trying to set the tool paths, and you on the right side of your screen the tool path menu pops up where you can choose like VCarve, profile, or pocket, and all that stuff. And there's a little button in the top right corner that's a thumbtack, and when you click on that, the menu stays locked open. Whereas if you don't press that button, every time you click something on the design, it goes away. And John Grubb was like, oh, just so you know, there's this little thumbtack here. It makes your life a lot easier. Every time I press that freaking button, I think of John Grubb. So that's just like the value that some of those even minor things can have, you know?
Bryan, have you had that experience where somebody's kind of just like saved your life with something?
He has. I'm cutting you off and I'm talking for you because he literally just mentioned it when we had John Malecki on the podcast. Every time he does okay, you can go from there.
Yeah, let him talk. Let him talk.
I feel like Bill Clinton, like I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, the breadboard ends with John Malecki.
Oh yeah, watch that video every single time I do it.
Yeah, there you go.
But he didn't like come to my house and like teach me. Like I just watched. But
YouTube videos matter.
So I was making.
He put the content out there.
I was making like a table a week at that point, and you would think by like 7 tables I would have figured it out, but nope. I had my computer downstairs looking at it. It's like, so do I do like the tight setting or the loose setting on the domino? Okay. It's tight on this one, loose on this one.
But that's still a good example of what I just described.
He put the content out there. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's helpful. And honestly, there are some things like that. Like it takes like 10 or 12 times before you actually get it. Like,
Totally.
And then you don't do it for a year and then you have to revisit it again because you're like, oh no.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Because I haven't made a table in like 8 months, 9 months.
It's okay though. That video's out there for you.
It's still, it freaking better be out there still.
He's gonna save it and download it now.
Yeah.
Gotta have it on hand, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna ask you,
else.
like, oh.
I was just trying to fill the silence, the crippling silence.
I'm curious, how much longer are you on active duty? Are you going like the full 20 years? Like, what are you doing?
No? Let's pump the brakes on that one. No, I'm actually at a kind of decision point. So I'm only 4 years in.
Okay.
My contract's up in 2.5 years. I'm in a community. I'm in human resources, and I do like data and analytics. So it's like a pretty small community, very easy to promote. I could stay in as long as I want.
Oh, that's nice.
But it really depends on where I'm at with my life. If I can get to San Diego, they'll send me to San Diego to work, I'll do that for 3 more years after 2025. And at that point, it's just going to be every 3 years, I'll reassess where I'm at with like girlfriend stuff, moving forward, all that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, absolutely no plans to stay in for 20 years. But
it's nice to have the option though.
But the option is there.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because I definitely can't make a run of it at woodworking yet. I know it's a great side hustle. It is an incredible side hustle, but definitely not a put food on the table kind of thing for me yet.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you want it to be, or do you like having it as a side hustle, the less pressure?
I think the less pressure is good.
Yeah.
And Ty and I have talked about this a couple times. It's really fun being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want to. And if a client brings a really expensive thing or wants me to do something that I'm just not comfortable with in terms of like a project, I don't have to say yes. I don't need this to feed myself.
Right.
So I like the flexibility of side hustle. But it's just kind of, it's like, just like my career. In 3 years, when I move, I'll reassess. It's hard on active duty because I don't stay in a place longer than 3 years. So as soon as I establish a good clientele, I move, and then I have to reestablish, which is great because I have friends and clients all over the country.
That's true.
But that's not always helpful when you're making tables.
I was gonna say, like, you do larger things, so you're not doing small shippables, like,
right.
Is that something that you want to do?
I think I want to ship more. Kind of the Etsy game has been pretty fun. And oh, ding! Like I got another order. Nice. Let's go. High five
awesome,
myself.
Dude, congrats!
Over here.
No, that's awesome.
Those kinds of things. I do like shipping. And the location I'm at is not. It's Millington, Tennessee. It's like 30 minutes north of Memphis. Not a super high income area. So in terms of order tables, I'm not going to get those big commissions. Probably.
Yeah, you have to adjust for where you are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I do have a good lumber supplier who I'll go there with like $50 and I'll come back with, 50 board feet of stuff. Like he just throws stuff at me like, oh, I'm done with this piece. This
That's
piece
awesome.
Is twisted. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm rambling, but we'll see.
No, those are the things that, I know we've talked about before with other makers is Instagram kind of puts that pressure at everybody want to be full-time woodworker, where really it doesn't have to be like, like let it be your passion, let it be your side hustle, let it be the thing that you enjoy.
Yeah. See, like when I first started, I had just left a job because of an injury. So the world was my oyster at that point. I could do whatever I wanted. And I was very fortunate enough to end up, being able to build a full-time woodworking business. But I don't discount or I don't think any differently for people who do it. I mean, there's dudes out there who do it on the weekends and are 7 million times more skilled than I am. And I mean, you can do whatever you want with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends, you know,
Yeah.
where your focus is, I guess.
You think about it too is people have been doing this forever, like just being like that garage warrior, but they weren't posting it online. So I feel
Yeah.
like the pressure of posting what you're doing makes people feel like they have to do it more, you know, like
Oh
there's, like,
yeah.
the
Social
pressure to
media
perform. Yeah.
social media should not be taken literally, in my opinion. Like someone got upset with me recently because I'm telling my clients I have a very pretty ironed out set period of time when I would deliver a project, you know, based on when I give the deposit or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the project is. And there was a client that was like, hey, like, you haven't posted my anything that you're working on for my project yet. What's going on? And I was like, lady, I haven't posted anything of any project that I've been working on recently in the past like 2 months. Like, to be completely honest, right now, I'm just regurgitating content that I've already posted at some point. So don't take Instagram as the telltale sign of what I'm doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People just, I just feel like they don't get that. They kind of forget that you can be, I mean, I don't want to say untruthful, but you can put out something that isn't really you
It's
or
not
who you
live.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of
So,
us will pre-record stuff and release it all week too. Like
totally.
it looks like I just carved that yesterday, but really I carved it 4 days ago. You know what I mean though?
Yeah, exactly. I
Like,
mean, that's 100% exactly
yeah.
how it goes. So it's kind of funny.
I milk that content and stretch it as far as I can. As long as it's valuable though. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing.
And especially with like Reels Play bonus, which I've been very lucky to be on
Mhm.
for probably like 9 months straight now.
Oh, nice.
And they're paying me to post. There's no incentive not to post. Like
Mhm.
all the incentives are to post. So it's one
Right.
of those things that it doesn't make sense not to. And you still get bummed. It's like, oh, I thought that was a good one. I thought that was a good one. I wanted that to stay off. It's like,
Mhm.
why do I care? Like, I'm still having fun. I'm doing it.
You
for
know what I
fun.
dislike though is when it starts going like wildfire, like it's like 5,000 views and then it just stops. It's like the most heartbreaking thing though, because you're just like, oh, it's happening. No.
Right. Yeah. For whatever reason, the past like 2 weeks, my posts have been like within the first hour, like jumping to like 10K views. And I'm like, oh my God, like we're getting to 20 million. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I check back in an hour later and I'm at like 10.1K. I'm like, what the
Okay,
fuck?
I'm so glad it's not just mine because I've been noticing that like it's like they open up the floodgate just a little bit. They're like, huh? And then it just shut it off.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little, you know, like Mark Zuckerberg back there, like this guy really needs a confidence booster. Let's turn it up for just like 5 minutes and then shut it off immediately just to get him enough to be addicted to posting freaking content.
I guarantee you that's what it is though.
Oh yeah, there's someone out there who's got a little controller, you know, little knobs on every single person. Like, let's ramp this guy up, let's ramp this guy down, let's give this guy just enough to keep going, let's give this guy an absolute punch in the gut.
Well, that's what, like with Charlie Kohler. So we've talked about him a ton of times on our show. I opened up his post like 20 minutes ago, and it had been posted 20 minutes before I opened it. It was like 400 likes or something like that. And he's just 1,500 followers on his account. So that's a really, really high turn. Like that's an awesome,
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I check back like 6 hours later and it's like, 425. Like they pump it really hard and then it just stops, or it's really, really slow. And then it has like the late growth at the end.
Mhm.
There's no, I've never had an in between at all.
Yeah, for sure.
I swear it's like how many people out of the ones that saw it actually saved it. And then if they're not saving it, they're like, no, they're just liking it. So it's not valuable enough. Stop. That's my guess. But no one knows. We're all just, you know, from
No
what
one
you're
knows.
seeing, you're seeing what you're seeing and you're making your assumptions.
Right. And that's what it is. It's all a guessing game. You know, no one knows when a post is going to pop off or not.
Yeah. Tyler, you were smart though, where you made something that was a product base for the making world. So that really helps get you connections with a lot of people who are making content too with your product. That was a good move. I always thought that was nice.
I'm happy about that. I love that I'm able to sell a product to other makers that helps them make money. That's like my biggest, like, it gets me excited thinking about like, oh, someone buys a $40 template and makes a board the day the template comes and sells it for $80 and can make that board over and over and over and over and over again. That really excites me. But I'm honestly surprised that more people, I mean, all the time people tag me in photos of boards, but not many people post like the process of making the boards, which is obviously
really?
like my big content booster myself. I post a lot of process videos, but I was just talking with Doggy about this earlier today. Whenever he posts a video using my templates, the videos do pretty well.
100K.
The videos do
100K
pretty
views
well.
every single time I have a acrylic template in there. 100K.
They're so satisfying, and the bots on
are.
Instagram just love them, I guess.
Plus, you do really well, though, Ryan, with your camera skills. Like, you set it up really well. I love the angles that you give.
Oh yeah.
You know what I've been loving recently is, I don't know how recent it was, but on the iPhone where you can zoom out to like 50%, those videos always do better for me.
The angle, they must like it,
But I don't know what it is. It's the clear acrylic templates, man. They make some visually appealing videos, and obviously, I love seeing people making boards with my templates, obviously, because that means they bought something from me and are getting good use out of it, which is very important to me. But just like a little PSA to those of you listening, if you got some of my templates, maybe try to film some cool videos with them. They might pan off for you.
Do you send like a little card when you send them to people to ask that? Because I don't ever like send a card saying like tag me when you get it, and I'm like, I got to start doing that.
Yeah, so I don't have anything that says like tag me, but I have like these little, oh god, the blur. Little
it's blurring it right out on it. There you go.
It says thank you, and then it says my logo and all my social medias, and it says I give everyone a $5 off coupon for a return purchase, which is pretty big, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But I might,
I'll edit that, add that in there, like tag me. Tag me. Show us how you use it.
That's a good idea. Once I work through about 5,000 of those that I have, I'll definitely redo them.
Spend the money, do it now. Who knows? It could help your business pop up even more.
Yeah, I mean, those cards are honestly really inexpensive. I think it was like $50 for 5,000.
That's what I mean. Like just
go to Office Depot, buy a rubber, like a stamp, and just stamp the back of them. Please tag us. That's easy.
That's a good idea.
Or you could do what I did when I went to Monterey for 2 years. And I bought 1,000 business cards. Like, I'm going to give out 1,000 business cards in 2 years. And on the business card, it says Monterey, California. And I came to Memphis, Tennessee. I was like, well, I swear I'm not like a California guy. Like I'm here. I'm here. I'm not there. So yeah, I stopped putting locations on my business cards. Because
yeah, that's a good idea.
Lesson learned. But yeah, you can just stamp the back. Office Depot's got those custom ones.
I'll look into it, guys. Quit bullying me. All right, I'll do it.
Do it now. Do it right now.
All right, OfficeDepot.com. Give me a second. All right, they're already on the way.
There you go. But seriously, though, those little things are the things that could help your business that you don't even think about. And I got to do it myself. So I'm going to bully myself to do it as well, is to order myself a card that says tag me when you open it or something.
Well, to be completely honest with you, Tiff, so the reason those cards even came about is because I was handwriting thank you notes like, hey, thanks so much for ordering, hope you get some good use out of them. And then, to be completely honest with you, how nice that was, and I hope people enjoyed them, but it came down to like my time, like how valuable my time was at the time. So
yeah,
I mean, I was taking several minutes writing out like, Thomas, thank you so much for your order. Bryan, thank you so much for your order. Tiffany, thank you so much for your order. It was taking so long, and it just made way more sense to print it out and get it on something that I could just slap in there. And it's unfortunate that I, couldn't personalize every single thing, but I think most people understand, honestly.
No, it's true.
Office Max, rubber stamp. Bryan, stamp. Tyler, stamp.
You want to know something funny about that? I actually have a pretty funny story about this from way early on in the maker community. And I know Doggy already knows the story, but he might have forgotten by now. But I got
probably
I got a sticker. You guys are familiar with sticker swaps, right?
Yeah.
I don't
do them very well.
Me either. I don't do them anymore.
Please don't request them.
Yeah, please. Gosh, no. If you want one, I'll throw it in with your next order.
There you go.
But No, but seriously, I got a sticker swap one time, and it was a photocopied note that was supposed to act all personalized. And he went in 3 different times and with a pen would fill in like the to and the from, but there was like 3 times where it was like, thank you so much blank for enjoying my content and enjoy this sticker blank. And he would just go in and write each person's name. And I was like, dude, this does not fly. Like, you might as well just print the whole thing out, because I don't know. I mean, I'm being a little bitter, but it just made me laugh so much at the time.
Well, that's how you really feel.
Yeah, right.
But no, I don't like sticker swaps, and I don't respond to those messages anymore. It's not like it's just they're so time consuming, and the post office is 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
It was. And I used to do it. I used to love doing it. And then I got to a point where I think I got like 9 messages in a day. And I was like, stamps are like 40 something cents. It's like, I don't get anything out of this sticker.
Well, and the stickers are expensive themselves.
Well, I include stickers with orders.
Oh yeah.
In the mail, and then at like farmers markets. And it's like, I don't really want to give these things. Like throw them for free. So yeah.
So what the problem with stickers, and I think it's a cool thing for the community for sure. It seems like the folks who are not really, oh yeah, see, there you go. Like, that's kick ass.
I know. Who wouldn't want the sticker?
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to do a sticker swap?
Right.
I think I've seen some people do it where you're like, hey, yeah, if you send me a letter with a return label,
yes, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, it doesn't really cost me anything at that point, which is cool. But I think you'd have to be really hardcore about enjoying stickers to do that. But I mean, there was a time where I loved collecting them, and I loved slapping them on this particular cabinet that I had. And then I moved. I couldn't take the cabinet with me, so like, there's no point. So now I'm just very detached from stickers personally.
You're taking my story. That was my story.
Oh, sorry.
I had a whole cabinet full of stickers, and I moved.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that cabinet.
Yeah.
I enjoy getting them at events. I think it's fun when you got it from the person right there in front of you and they handed it to you. That I'm all about. Like that's cool.
Like going to Workbench Con and bringing a bunch of stickers. I know people bring hats or shirts or something like that.
Yeah.
And they swap. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, but no, I'm not going to just put one in the mail. And
yeah. It's a way to connect with people. I get it. But when I don't know you and you just come in and that's the first thing you say to me, I'm just like,
and when people who don't even follow you are like, hey, do you want a sticker swap? Like, no, I don't want a freaking sticker swap with you. What's the point?
Or if they ask you to follow them and they don't follow you, that's even more fun.
Back in the day of like bombing people to like get the like follow for follow, like bombs, which I've had people do that to me. But when I was first starting Instagram, I was all about that.
Or a lot of comments.
Blasting the like bomb. Yep. I was just blasting the like button on people's accounts. And now it's like Ty and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I am the worst consumer of content ever. Like I'm like a freaking sniper. I go on Instagram, I put my post and I leave. Like that's it. I don't scroll. I think I go on YouTube to watch John Malecki's video on breadboard ends. Like I don't meander around. So
but that's like situational though. Like you most certainly consume content on Instagram. It's just not like a daily thing for you, I would say.
I mean, I scroll for a couple minutes, but that's it. And I usually see the people that I engage with daily. So like Tyler, Charlie, a couple people that I'm close with. But then I start getting to like Amazon ads and Fabletics and all these other things. I'm like, I don't need this. And then I lose interest. So yeah, definitely not a huge consumer of it, but I do like making it.
Yeah, it's tough because like I feel like, I mean, obviously I'm huge into the community. If there's ever a situation where I can help out another maker or spread something, a tip or something that can help other people, like I'm all about it. But there is so much toxicity to a degree in social media in general, obviously not specifically around the maker community, but I mean, like social media sometimes cannot be very good for your mental health. Going back to the topic of like people being stressed to want to go full time, it's like that is so silly. You need to do what's best for you and your life and your situation. You shouldn't be worried about other people's lives on Instagram, you know?
Exactly. Plus, you know, in my situation, this has been my dream since I was a little kid. Like to just work for myself and have my own business. Like that's something that I've had like been wanting since I was like 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Perfect.
I could do this for, you know, but like I think people look at that and they think like they should go full time. And like, you don't have to. Don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I got a message today from someone that had some financial questions, which I'll be very transparent with anyone who asks me. And he was trying to weigh the pros and cons of becoming full-time woodworking. And I was like, I could be wrong, but I feel like if you're in a situation where you have to ask for these kinds of like tips and tricks, like you're probably not built to be, you know, your own boss. And
yeah, you might not be there yet.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those yet.
Totally. Yeah, I'm not trying to discourage him at all. You know, like I was very honest with him. I answered all the questions he had, and then I gave him my honest feedback. So, I mean, does that make sense? I feel like I don't want to sound mean. I'm just being completely honest with you. I got very lucky. I had very minimal bills. I don't have kids. I don't have a family. I don't have all these kinds of responsibilities that so many people do have. So I got really lucky that I could start with almost nothing and build.
Yeah, you lucked into it being like how old you were at that time too.
Right.
And that this all was there. Like this was actually an option for life to do this. Like
exactly.
You know 100%. What I mean? Like this wasn't something that I could do at your age. And it came to me later in life. But I still am glad that I jumped on that option. Like I saw it and I pursued it. But it matters. Like it's when your life is ready for this. Like if some people, it may be 10 years from now when your kids are older is something that you can pursue it. But it's like enjoy it as part-time. Like and like enjoy it.
yeah, well, 100%. And that's an extremely good point about, you know, like people would say like, oh, I wish I started when I was 17 years old. It's like, well, you know, things were a lot different back then. You had different priorities, different responsibilities, different access to certain things. And I mean, that's kind of, I don't know, it kind of frustrates me when people talk about my age and stuff. Especially, I mean, nowadays it
gets better. Don't worry. In a couple of years, you'll be fine.
Once you get through puberty, life gets so much better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just.
Ty, how old are you right now?
23.
23. I was making a checkered cutting board and I glued every single square together individually. I think you're doing okay. I mean, you just gotta look at it with a wider lens and you'll be fine.
I was working in at 23. Yeah, I was working in a bakery at a local grocery store and I was a cake decorator and I was going to
artistic.
Yes. And I was going to concerts almost at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. It was a great year. It was my in-between. It was right after college. I would say 23 was my favorite year of life because it was just like a party year for me. And it was quite wonderful. I was living at home, no responsibilities.
Yeah. When I first started this business, I was 17, 18. And I live at home still. And I didn't really I never really had a party phase, I guess. Like I like to always think I was very mature as I was growing up for my age. And I always wanted to be kind of going back to what you said, Tiff, about being your own boss and running a business. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I was going to do something that had to do with me being my own boss. And I tried the whole workforce BS, working for the man, and it was not for me. But
working for the man.
I guess the big moral of the story.
Save the empire.
Take it to the man.
To wrap it all up on that topic is just, the moral of the story is don't compare yourself to other people. That's just, should be like the most logical scenario. You definitely can't put yourself in someone else's shoes, unfortunately. So
you didn't have a party phase, so you didn't go to Las Vegas last year, September.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go on like crazy benders or anything like that. Like I didn't sneak out.
He hasn't hit his party phase yet. That's the problem is we're easing into it right now. 24 is going to be wild.
Hey, I am going back to Vegas this month. I guess next month.
How old are you, Bryan?
26. I'll be 27 in a month.
Okay.
This is my golden year.
Your golden
27
year?
on the 27th.
Wow.
Look at that. Mine
We'll
was a
see what
long time
happens.
ago.
I didn't get a golden year. My birthday is January 3rd. So when I was 3, that was my golden birthday.
It's all downhill from there.
I was born on the 28th, so I got that, I guess. I didn't think of it as the golden year, though.
Oh, you
Disappointed.
messed up. Now we got to
I
redo
did.
it.
Yeah,
Now we got to
40
redo
is
it.
my golden year. I'm really loving it.
You know, this all gets me thinking that I really want to try to figure out a way that I can make the Catskills Maker Camp happen, because it would be so much fun to meet all the people that are going there.
It's gonna be a really good time if you like camping. It is rugged
Yeah, it's literally camping, right?
It's real camping. Yeah, because they don't have rooms there anymore. You can get a room at like a local place. That there's a place you can do, or you can just get a tent or rent an RV and have it delivered for you. Yeah.
Well, me, Doggy, and a couple of our other buddies were talking about doing like an Airbnb nearby.
Mm-hmm.
We loosely explored it, so I'm not sure. But I don't know, man.
There's
I
always
would
next
like to
year.
go.
But
Well,
yeah.
it was something where it was, hey, there's Maker Camp. These are the dates, and would you guys be interested? This was like a one-on-one message, and I was like, oh yeah, I'd be interested. That sounds good. It's like 8 months out right now, but yeah. And then 2 months later, it was like, hey, I'm thinking this Airbnb this weekend. I was like, whoa. I need to figure out what I'm doing with work, if I'm gonna have a house yet. Like, I was like all over the place still. And I think I just kind of put that on the back burner.
Are you feeling
for better,
settled in
for worse.
now?
Yeah. So the shop, I have one more load of trash to take to the local dump, which is $30 per year. So I might just cancel my trash subscription and just go to the dump.
I'd say that's
every other
so
week.
affordable. Yeah.
And once I get this last load of garbage out, it'll be incredible. Like, it'll be so much easier to breathe everywhere. So that's kind of the last. Then I'll be settled and then I'll be good.
The place you got, was it like something that you had to completely redo your garage on it, or was it already had the foundation all set up for you, ready to go?
Everything was perfect.
Nice.
So no Reno work in the house. Reno work.
Reno, definitely not Reno.
Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, Reno. Yeah.
Reno 911.
And then the shop was already wired with 110 and had a ton of space on the breaker, so I just ran the 220 myself, and we're good. Easy day.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I left into this.
I'm jealous of your shop size.
What do you have?
25 by 30.
That's like a 2-car garage, right? Or is it an oversized?
It's like 3
it's
cars.
It's a metal building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
That's
awesome.
nice. So you have a shop. Yeah.
So I have all of my tools in the same places they were in my 2-car garage in California. And I just have the other side, which is open. And I put like sawhorses with a piece of plywood on it. And that's like my temporary.
You're big. Yeah.
Yep. That's like kind of I'm done sanding cutting boards. I'll put them over here and leave them until I'm ready to make the next step. And I'm trying to leave a little walkway through because I have a double garage on the front and a single garage on the back. So if my cousin needs to park his trailer at my house, he can pull it through into my fenced-in backyard.
You got a nice spot. I like that. You have all these options. Yeah.
A lot of options. And I'm trying to enjoy it while also realizing that I'll probably, if I have to move in 3 years, I'll never have this again. So I'm trying
especially not in San Diego.
Yeah.
Not in San Diego.
Yeah, I'm in a 22 by 22 garage. So every time I hear Doggy complain about not having commissions, I'm like, fuck you, dude. I would kill to have that space that you have right now.
What does shop space have to do with commissions? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Not being able to use the shop space, maybe.
I can use it.
He's just like bitter, huh?
I'm jealous is the big thing. I wish I had that.
Tyler,
space,
you
Doggy.
did this whole speech about not comparing things yourself to other people.
Oh God, I just got caught in my own trap. Shoot.
Busted.
Like, let's do a little callback to that.
Damn it. It is a nice space though. I do wish I had it. And it's a bigger shop is probably on my horizon, but not right now, unfortunately.
That's my goal. I have a 1-car garage to do like my woodworking. Yeah, that's it. And then I have my deck, which I've been like moving all the patio furniture out of the way, carving, and then putting all the patio furniture back. So Like that's not a place where I'm going to be staying. I need like a carport out
Right.
front for carving, and then like an actual shop in the back. Well, I mean, I could do it all in the back if I had a real shop, but I have an
Where
acre
are
of
you
land.
located?
I'm in Springfield, Mass.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in Tennessee. It gets hot, humid in the summer. But
Same.
two days ago, I was sanding, cutting boards. Hey, stop it! Sorry, he's digging. He's digging
No,
at the
fine.
carpet. Yeah. So I brought the cutting boards to my back porch and started standing them. And like in 10 minutes, I had like the whole sweat ring. I was like, I have an air conditioner in my shop. Why am I out here right now? But yeah, I love seeing people that are working outside, because I would love, like, once it gets cool out,
Yeah.
like open the garage doors, have a nice
Mhm.
breeze, and just enjoy it. Because I go in there and it's just like a metal building and plywood everywhere. Like, it's very, I
Yeah.
don't know, weird to me.
I have to have my garage door open to work, whether it's rain or shine. Well, if it's raining, I'm not in the shop 9 times out of 10, but I do like having the openness of, being able to see the neighbors walk by, and every once in a while a car drives by, so I guess I can feel you on that, doggy, for sure.
Do they stop and interrupt you all the time though?
Oh, it's a lot of
See,
times.
that's the hard part about leaving a garage door open.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a small price to pay, because I live in a strictly policed HOA neighborhood, so it's a blessing that I'm even able to get away with what I do.
Yeah.
But so I really mind my P's and Q's around my neighbors and make sure that they're all cool with me. And I've been very blessed with the direct neighbors right next to me. They've all been super cool in all the houses I've had. So very very big plus there.
Yeah.
I loved working with it open, because like the police would kind of just like be there. They would like stop by and say hi. The firefighters came up because they thought I set my grill on fire. And the other one was, I bought the best pupusas I've ever had in my life from a guy who was driving up the street. Sold them out of his Toyota RAV4.
The best who?
And pupusas. It's
What is that?
Is it Mexican?
It sounds
I
like
don't
it's
know.
Mexican treat.
I think it's Mexican. But I don't even know what it was, but it was so good.
Is it food?
Yeah, it's food. And he asked me if I wanted it in Spanish. I was like, like solo
Sí.
inglés, like I don't know. And he was like, pupusas. And he said it again in Spanish. I was like,
Is it
okay,
like a quesadilla?
how much? Look it up. I don't even know.
I'm looking it up. It looks like a little quesadilla.
It was the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life, and it was out of a Toyota RAV4. Yeah, I missed that. Dang it, I missed that.
That was in California.
Yeah, Central California.
Yeah.
Good times.
It does have to be heartbreaking though. I have to agree. If you have that kind of a setup and knowing that you're going to leave it in 3 years, like that does, that's tough, but
It's like enjoy it, but
yes,
not too
enjoy
much.
every moment of it. No, enjoy it and pray that you find something cool for the next place. Like,
Yeah.
like you just hope. That's all.
From the
Yeah.
Phoenix, doggy, we can build an ultimate shop.
Well, I think I could potentially stay in the Memphis area for an additional 3 years, so like 6 years total. But I'm worried that if I do that, then I'll never want to leave. Like, I'll be so
'Cause
settled.
it'll feel like home. Yeah.
And this is my first time in my life not living on a body of water. So I grew up in Cleveland on Lake Erie, went
Oh,
to
that's
school in
nice.
Wisconsin on Lake Michigan, lived in Pensacola on the Gulf for 2 years, and then California on the Pacific for 2 years. So I have like the Mississippi River, which isn't like a coast. That's called the Muddy River for a reason. So I think I would like to get back to like a coast.
I have a pond behind my house, like a big one, and it's glorious because I feel, I'm living on the water in the city. I'm in the middle of I'm on like the
Mhm.
suburbs of the city, but like I've got an acre of land that goes out to the water, and it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
I was gonna say, you got a pretty big piece of property there. You can definitely pop up a shop there if you wanted to.
There's already electrical out there too.
Oh baby, I would be blasting that, getting something popped
I'm trying
up
to work with
immediately.
Quikrete. They haven't replied to my email. I have to blast them again.
Oh, get it
Yes.
sponsored.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh.
I want to do the foundation myself and record it
Wow.
for them to show that you can do it yourself. I've done concrete work in the past. I'm just older now, but I can still do it.
concrete pouring, like getting a
Concrete's fun.
slab done, I don't know about you guys where you are, but here in Phoenix is a pretty penny nowadays.
Oh, it's so expensive. That's why I want to get it sponsored.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
I don't have the
Jeez.
money to build this shop, but I want it. And I have no problem documenting every step of the way and doing a YouTube video of it.
Please, I will whore out your
Do
product.
you hear that, Quick Read? That was like one of the biggest reasons I was so excited for Haven was I got to actually meet them in person. But
Oh,
they
nice.
met so many people that weekend. There was over 500 people there. So it's like,
You gotta do it different. Make yourself stand out, Tiff.
oh,
You
I'm
know how
gonna
that
follow
goes.
up. Don't you worry. I'm gonna follow up again. They'll get
Good.
6 follow-ups from me. I don't care. I've
Gotta
got
do
some
it.
stucco that need to repair. I've got some mortar that needs to go into my bricks.
That's great.
I think that's, I don't know, one of the things I really enjoy. Do you guys work with a lot of brands?
I mean, when we
Nah.
can,
Yeah.
when we can, we like to. I definitely, I mean, don't get me wrong. If there's a project I need to pull off, I usually exhaust many options to try to lessen the burden, if you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So definitely.
Yeah, I think I went through a phase working a lot with brands when I first like early this year and like end of last year
Mhm.
when I was super busy with woodworking. Recently, no, but I want to get back to it. But it's hard right now because all the prices are up, supply, demand, all this, all these issues. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't give you anything to work with. It's like, darn it, I guess I'll buy epoxy. Like I haven't done this in a while.
I think it depends. Yeah, it has to be the right fit for you, the right company. And you have to have a project that you're going to want to do with it. Like, I don't want to do a forced project. I don't
Right.
want to make something just to make it. I want it to be a useful part of my shop. Like, yeah, I've got the epoxy, but it's going to be waiting until I find something that I want to use it for. Like I'm not
And
going to
Yeah.
rush.
Sorry, that was a lie. I have a dust collector from Rockler that I'm working with. That was
That's right. You are currently in the middle of a brand project.
I think the difference now is I don't want to do the, hey, can I have 3 gallons of epoxy for this project? It's like, hey, I want 10 gallons a month, or I want a dust.
You want a consistent thing.
To that
Yeah,
next
something big.
level up. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm in between. I haven't worked with brands in a little bit other than Rockler.
Yep.
And I want to kind of take that next step to the to that level.
But you're
We'll see
there
what we
though.
see.
You're ready for that. You've got
I was
40K, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was blown away when Rockler responded to my email. Like I emailed them. I was like, whatever. Like this is the same dust collector my cousin had in his shop. I stayed at their house for 3 months before I got to this house.
Oh, okay.
I was using. I was like, this thing's pretty awesome for this $1,500 or something. And you know what? I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna ask.
Mhm.
And then
No risk it, no biscuit, baby.
yeah.
No,
And the
yeah.
response was like, hey Brian, that sounds awesome. We would love to help out. Just let us know an itemized list of what you would need. I was like,
Hell
Beautiful.
yeah.
So I threw in like the thin rip jig. Like I threw in some like extras that I didn't really
You
need,
always
but
have to.
you just gotta like send
Yeah.
it. Like if they're gonna entertain it, make them say no. Be like, hey, we can do
Yeah.
this and this, but not that. Don't say no to yourself.
That's been something that has ironically been a big part of my life in the past few weeks, to be honest with you. Is I don't want to be the one to turn down an opportunity. There's this situation where someone emailed me wanting a product made, and it seemed kind of fishy, and I didn't really want to give it too much time of day, so I kind of just like threw out a crazy number for it.
Mhm.
And then if they were real, they were gonna be like, either gonna say yes or no, the price is too high. And if they were a scam, they were just gonna walk away. So I definitely like can feel that, in the sense that, never be the one to say no in an
Yep.
engagement. Always make it to where like it's something that you can accept. You don't have to accept it, but that's my spiel. That's something that's actually been very prevalent in the past couple of weeks for me.
Yeah. I talked about it with these tiki men. I was carving them for my house and my house only. And on TikTok, it went viral, and I got like 50 requests for people who wanted to buy them. And I wasn't
Oh,
planning
wow.
on selling them. But I priced it at the price that I wanted. And if they wanted it, then awesome. If they don't, that's fine. Only one person purchased out of all those people, but he bought 6.
There you go. Perfect.
I made
That's all you
$1,600. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. $1,600. I got to carve them still, but like, it's fantastic. Like,
Yeah, heck yeah.
It wasn't
Congrats.
something I was. Thank you. It was huge. I was just like, I was sitting on actually, I was talking to Kristen on from Workbench Con, and I'm like, all of a sudden I hear ding, and you gotta look. You gotta look. And it's just like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. Those are the things though that like make a whole month for you. It's like, I wasn't expecting that income. That's fantastic.
And
For sure.
Ty and I talked about this yesterday. I had no orders to the point where I was like, well, I guess I'll just like make myself something like a floating fireplace because I have nothing else to make. And then it's like the flag orders came in, the ashtray, the 2 cutting boards. I'm getting like reviews on Etsy, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
Like this is cool. Like I'm gonna keep this going. I like making money. It kind of turns the way like you said, the whole month looks different now. Instead of like Miller Lite, I might get like some Lagunitas next or something like that.
Get that middle ground beer.
Yeah. not quite the like the 4-pack of the tall boys, but
exactly.
we'll get there eventually.
You can't jump up to that high level that quick. I mean, come on.
Oh gosh, no.
I know who I am.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, chatting, and I know our hour flew by, but it's nice just hanging out and talking with you guys. I feel like Tyler hosted this episode, so thank you, Tyler.
I mean, thank you for having us on. Honestly, I mean, definitely, had a good time. I love just chatting, and I mean, we haven't been, back to what Doggy said earlier about being a consumer of content. I definitely have been poor about it the past few weeks. So it was cool to kind of catch up with you and, spread whatever useless BS we're working on,
So you guys have anything you want to talk about before we go to promote or anything? Are you guys watch out for your Rockler video? Are you doing a YouTube or is this Instagram?
It is YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube
okay. See, that
Instagram.
Is new, right?
So yeah, that's going to be my second YouTube video, first full length. Broke my camera in the middle of the last video, broke the lens. So
basically made the project very not profitable.
Well,
he now owes them for the project.
I broke the lens, which is like my normal lens. And I put the other one on. It's like a freaking telescope. So I have to put the camera in the like
really far
30 feet away to see anything.
Oh god.
So I ended up just doing like the phone horizontal for the rest of it because it was too much of a pain. It's like $300 for a new lens. I didn't like that one anyways, so not the end of the world. I've been looking at upgrading a camera, so we'll just do it all
kind
at
of
once.
Force you into that, yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off. But to answer your question, no, nothing to plug other than the Maker Made podcast on Instagram.
Go check us out, follow us, like and subscribe, please.
Essentially, it's just going to be more of this. You guys really just talk about what you have going on in your shop. It's nice, but like in a cool way, not like, well,
not in a shitty way.
Well, I tune out in conversations where it's like, well, I got this biscuit cutter, and when I use it, I find that it takes this much off, and like, it's off. I'm not gonna listen to that. There's no. Yeah. You guys talk about your lives and what's going on, and you share tips with people. I think it's really valuable and fun.
Ironically enough, our best episode is I think Epoxy with Zach, who was talking. Zach Hess, who did his. It was like, I swirl 2.5 hours for if I'm pouring an inch thick and like this, like super detailed. But again, anytime I pour epoxy, I go back to that episode. I should just write it down. I should really just write it down. But
no. Keep downloading the episode, please. We need the views.
Cool.
Say that sounds like one should be shared on like YouTube or something too, if you have the visual.
Yeah, that's something we kind of want to get going is the capturing the video for sure.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to look back and it helps you for promos. You actually have the people talking and you get their expressions. Exactly though. Like,
yeah.
And people do ridiculous hand gestures sometimes that are just too good.
Yeah. And like, plus like we were showing our like stickers earlier, like no one who's listening can ever see them. But if you're watching the video, you get the exclusive.
Dogwood Designs.
Exactly. Well, that's the nice part about Spotify too, is you can do a video podcast on there. So
I've been seeing that. That's interesting.
Never heard that before.
Yeah, so you can see this on Spotify too if you're watching on that app or listening to that on the app.
Can't wait to go watch myself later.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, have a great night then.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. Really appreciate it. Always good chatting.
All right, I hope you enjoyed getting to know those guys. They're awesome. Check out Dogwood Custom Builds, and then Tyler is Westfall Woodworks. Check them out, and if you're going to be in the Catskills this October, come see me. We're going to be in the Sabertooth tent, and we're going to be power carving there all day. We actually just finalized the schedule, so it's going to be myself and Sadie Mae from the Awesome Orange, and we're going to be there representing Sabertooth. And last time I counted, we have 125-ish burrs and wheels to play with, and a ton of hardwood on the way. I'm actually just about to laser some templates so that way people can just trace it on and make something cool. All right, well, I hope to see you then, and make sure you check out Carver Conversations, where each week I'm hanging out with the very talented wood carver. They all have really cool stories, and lately there's been a lot of chainsaw carvers on there, which is very exciting. But my next guest is Ann of All Trades, and I'm super excited. I'm actually going to be recording it tonight, September 14th, in case you're curious, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I am super excited for it. Okay, thank you for your support, and enjoy your day.